For decades, scientists told us Megalodon was basically just a giant great white shark. Bigger, scarier, but the same basic animal. Turns out, they were completely wrong about almost everything. New research in 2025 has flipped our entire understanding of the Megalodon upside down. Today, we're uncovering the truth about this prehistoric monster and finding out exactly how scientists got it so spectacularly wrong for so long. Let's get into it. The accidental discovery. The whole Megalodon story starts in 1666 with two Italian fishermen who caught a massive shark. The locals freaked out over how big it was, so the Duke sent it to a Danish scientist named Niels Steno. Now, Steno wasn't interested in the shark's size, he was obsessed with its teeth, because he noticed something weird. The teeth looked almost exactly like these triangular rocks people had been finding for centuries. Most folks thought these rocks were petrified dragon tongues or snake tongues, because medieval people had really creative explanations for things they didn't understand. But Steno had a different idea. What if these weren't magical dragon tongues at all? What if they were just fossilized shark teeth preserved in rock over millions of years? This was a revolutionary thought. Steno had basically figured out what fossils actually were, which changed science forever. Not bad for a guy just looking at some shark teeth. So what does this have to do with Megalodon? Everything. See, sharks don't have regular bones. Their skeletons are made of cartilage, the same bendy stuff in your nose and ears. When sharks die, that cartilage basically dissolves instead of turning into fossils. But teeth? Teeth stick around, and sharks lose a ridiculous amount of teeth throughout their lives. Megalodon had 276 teeth in its mouth at any given time. Some were up to 7 inches long. That's longer than your phone. And like modern sharks, Megalodon constantly shed teeth and grew new ones in rows. Scientists estimate that one Megalodon could go through 40,000 teeth in its lifetime. 40,000! That's a lot of dental work. So over Megalodon's 19 million year run dominating the oceans, the seafloor became absolutely covered in massive teeth, and tons of them turned into fossils over time. These fossilized teeth are basically our entire knowledge base about Megalodon. We literally named it after them. Megalodon means big tooth in Greek. Very creative naming there, scientists. For decades, researchers studied these massive teeth trying to figure out what kind of animal Megalodon actually was, and they got it wrong. Really wrong. The big mistake. In 1835, a scientist named Louis Agassiz officially named Megalodon and classified it in the same family as great white sharks. His reasoning? The teeth looked similar. Both had large, triangular, serrated teeth, perfect for ripping flesh. So everyone assumed Megalodon was just a supersized great white. Made sense, right? Similar teeth, similar shark, just way bigger. In 1996, researchers built a complete skeletal reconstruction based on this theory. They gave Megalodon the stocky, muscular body of a great white shark, just scaled up to monster proportions. Based on the teeth they'd found, they estimated that Megalodon grew to about 50 to 60 feet long at most. That's already insanely huge, 3 times bigger than the largest great whites alive today. Everyone accepted this version. Movies showed it this way, museums built models, documentaries featured it. For decades, this was the truth. There was just one tiny problem. Almost everything was completely wrong. The teeth don't lie. In the early 2000s, scientists made another discovery. The teeth weren't really that similar to great white teeth, after all. The serrations were shaped differently. A scientist named Kevin Nyberg basically proved that Megalodon teeth and great white teeth were completely different. By 2019, scientists officially moved Megalodon out of the great white family tree entirely and put it in a completely different extinct family of sharks. Turns out, Megalodon's closest relatives weren't great whites, but a group of ancient sharks that went extinct millions of years ago. So scientists had spent decades building their entire understanding of Megalodon on a family connection that didn't actually exist. That's embarrassing, but it gets worse. Way worse. Everything was wrong. The real bombshell dropped in 2025 when a team of 28 international scientists decided to re-examine the fossils. They had something previous researchers didn't have access to, an exceptionally well-preserved set of fossilized vertebrae from Belgium, actual spine bones from a real megalodon. This was huge. Most of our knowledge came from teeth alone. Teeth can tell you some things, but they can't tell you how an animal's body was actually shaped or proportioned. But vertebrae? That's different. That reveals the actual body structure. So this team measured everything. They compared the Megalodon spine to over 165 different species of living and extinct sharks. They built computer models, they ran complex calculations, and they discovered that basically everything we thought about Megalodon was wrong. First shock? Megalodon was way bigger than we thought. The old estimates said 50 to 60 feet maximum. The new research showed some megalodons reached over 80 feet long and weighed around 200,000 pounds. That's nearly as big as a blue whale. We're talking about something the length of a commercial airplane that could swim. Absolutely ridiculous. But the size wasn't even the biggest revelation. The shape was completely wrong too.
The real Megalodon. Remember how everyone thought Megalodon looked like a buff, stocky great white? Yeah, that's not right at all. The new research revealed Megalodon was much more streamlined and sleek. It had a shorter, flatter snout, different jaw structure, much longer pectoral fins. Basically, Megalodon didn't look like a great white at all. It looked more like a massive lemon shark, which has a completely different body type. This matters because body shape determines everything about how an animal moves and hunts. Great whites have that stocky build for a reason. They're ambush predators. They hide near the bottom, wait for prey to pass overhead, then explode upward in a burst of speed for a surprise attack. This completely changes how we understand Megalodon's behavior. It probably wasn't lurking near coastlines ambushing seals. It was cruising through open ocean, covering massive distances, hunting the enormous whales that swam in prehistoric seas. And that streamlined shape explains something else, how it got so unbelievably massive in the first place. The mystery of extinction. So we've established the real Megalodon was bigger, shaped differently, and way more advanced than great white sharks in basically every way, which makes its extinction even more confusing. How did something so dominant just disappear? For a long time, scientists thought maybe the Megalodon went extinct when the ice ages hit. But newer research shows Megalodon teeth in both warm and cold water fossils. This shark apparently handled a wide range of temperatures just fine, so cold probably didn't kill it. The real answer seems to be food, or more accurately, the catastrophic loss of food. Megalodon's favorite meal was whales, big, fat, slow-moving whales full of blubber. One whale could feed a Megalodon for weeks. 3.6 million years ago, a massive number of marine mammals went extinct in a very short time. Whales, dolphins, porpoises, over half of all large marine mammals disappeared. Megalodon's buffet was closing down. And remember, this thing needed thousands of pounds of food every single day. When prey started vanishing, Megalodon was in serious trouble. Making things worse, it suddenly had competition from a smaller, more efficient predator that needed way less food to survive, the great white shark. Great whites evolved to be lean, efficient hunters. They needed much less prey. When food became scarce, they had a huge advantage over the massive Megalodon. The Mariana Trench myth. So here's the question everyone really wants answered. Could Megalodon still be alive, hiding in the deep ocean? Let me give you the straight answer. No, Megalodon is definitely extinct. This is why we're sure. If something that massive still existed, we'd have found solid evidence by now. Big predators leave traces everywhere. They affect entire ecosystems. We have satellites, ships, underwater cameras, and thousands of marine biologists. Someone would have found proof. Plus, when Megalodon disappeared, other predators immediately took over. Orcas and great whites became the new apex predators. Whales got much bigger without Megalodon hunting them. If Megalodon were still around, none of that ecological shift would have happened. And the Mariana Trench theory? It sounds cool, but doesn't work. There's nowhere near enough food down there to support a creature needing thousands of pounds of meat daily. So no, Megalodon isn't hiding anywhere. It's gone. But honestly, the real Megalodon is way more interesting than any survival theory. A sleek 80-foot super predator that ruled the oceans for 20 million years before evolutionary pressures finally caught up with it? That's incredible enough without needing it to still be alive. So there you have it. If you enjoyed learning how wrong we were about this prehistoric monster, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos about the weird, the mysterious, and the totally misunderstood creatures that once lived on our planet. Thanks for watching.